Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the LOWBAT Podcast. On this week's pod, Casey and I sit down with Amanda to introduce our newest crew member, Kris Williams, and he gives us a rundown on how he got into content creation. We also chat about his first shoot with the LOWBAT team, movie cliches, and a bunch of other cinematography topics. Hit the comment section or any of our other socials to give Kris a warm welcome and expect him to pop up on other future episodes. So with that, hit the subscribe button to never miss a new episode and enjoy our chat with Kris.
You are now listening to the LOWBAT Podcast,
a weekly show highlighting members of our local creative community and featuring topical conversations with members of the LOWBAT production team. We're your hosts, Casey House
and Fabian Castaneda. Through our own experiences as musicians, visual artists, and business owners, we saw an opportunity to provide a platform for people just like us to deep dive into what it's like to pursue a lifestyle outside of the norm.
Without further ado, welcome to the LOWBAT Podcast.
So what GTA video were you referring to?
Oh, the video, it's the two voice actors.
Oh, the voice actor
Yeah,
one?
that redid it.
yee ass haircut.
Yeah, which yee-ass haircut. Yeah, we watched like a 10-minute compilation video.
Oh
of
man,
that
they had
Of all the
Harry
different
Potter,
ones?
and
it was like Shrek, Harry
and-
Potter.
I saw the one with Hermit.
He replaced,
Kermit, yeah.
he replaced the last word spoken with acquaintance.
Yeah.
And I thought that was so fucking funny.
It was good. It was really
Oh
good.
man.
I love the one with SpongeBob on it.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Hilarious.
It was good stuff. Yeah, we watched like a 10-minute compilation video. of
I've
that.
only seen like 2 or 3 of them, so I need to watch full 10 minutes of this
Ethan
It was
conversation.
a
can hook you
lot.
up. It was a lot. We were like, damn, this shit's still going. We were like,
There was one where it was the dude from GTA 3, I think, and I guess he like doesn't speak in the game.
yeah,
And so
he's
he just
like,
walked silently and just said nothing. and then like he went through the whole of the motions and then he walked away and then I forget his name, but like the other dude just goes, "What?"
So it's just dead silent. Like,
it's like 45 seconds of
Gesturing.
oh man.
Gesturing.
what?
So
And we cracked up.
welcome everybody to the LOWBAT Podcast.
Welcome.
We have a special guest here.
Oh, I'm special.
For those out there who don't know who you are, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi guys. My name is Kris. I work with LOWBAT sometimes. You can refer to me as like black guy number 2, pretty much. But yeah. I've known Ethan for like, I think it's been 3 years. I think we met in like 2018, maybe. Met him through like a mutual friend.
Okay.
And yeah, so like I also do like videography and cinematography and stuff like that. Actually started up my own sort of media startup called Wilberg Media Group. But we focus more so on like the corporate aspect of stuff. So really just a lot of talking heads and like testimonials, stuff like that. But I love to do like a whole bunch of creative stuff too. Last time I seen you guys was actually the music video that we shot for Oxford. Thank you so much. Boxford, sorry. Oof. I'm sorry, Jimmy.
Rest in peace,
sorry.
Rest in peace, Boxford.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, that was really dope.
That was a good ass video.
It was very
Yeah.
chaotic to film.
Yeah, it was chaotic, but like it never got, at least from my perspective, that stressful. My role was very stressful.
I was going to say you were an actor, right?
Not only was I an actor, but I was like the actor.
Yeah, you were. We ended up cutting a lot
Which
of that.
you cut all of it.
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
You did that bad of a job.
No.
What's the song called?
Oh shit.
I don't know.
It's the
which
second video. Ethan.
Incandescent. I was like,
Incandescent.
it's because they had the lights.
It's the second video
Yeah.
LOWBAT did for them, and second. And it. So my role, I guess, was to be a dude who's still stuck in the rut of what he had gone through,
Yes.
based on the story of the album in general. And I had gotten off of work, just living through life, just day by day, hating it. So I was dressed very corporate. I had like a white polo and everything, the whole thing, and I was basically invited by Jimmy. This is the story, I guess, or whatever, to some behind the scenes stuff for the video that never got released at all. I was basically supposed to be called by Jimmy to go to the video or to go to it was a party, just to go to this tiki party and be like, hey man, like we know shit sucks right now. You got to come out. Everybody misses you, whatever. And he convinces me. The whole thing that we shot all of this.
Yep.
A whole scene of us talking on the phone, everything. Me walking up to the gate. It was all this stuff. What
Psych.
you actually see in the video is everybody wearing floral shirts and everything,
Except
and then
for
me
you.
in a white polo for no explained reason. I stick out so heavily in that video. Thank God the cuts really don't show it all that much. It was going to be hyper focused on me. There's all this crowd stuff that we shot too.
Yep.
That just got scrapped, and it's like, so there's just little snippets of like, oh, there's Casey in
Some sad dude in the crowd, and everyone else is like getting it, and you're like, I don't know the words.
and not only I got there. Oh, hell yeah.
Well.
So look throughout this shit. You're just gonna
You
see
can
a
point
dude in
yourself
a
out.
fucking
There's a lot of
white
White Claws.
polo.
Oh, what up?
Peeps.
I was right there, but it gets better. So you see everybody dressed the same, including the band.
Says Tikio.
I don't know if we have audio. I know we don't have audio. I don't know if there's audio playing through.
No, we're just here for the visuals.
We specifically
that's
look
fine.
at
We
that
can just talk over it
lack of
anyways.
Casey footage.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's I show up eventually.
Oh,
Oh
my
man,
gosh.
the
I forgot
puppy
about it.
too. Oh, that was
Oh, there's Megan.
yep.
What's up, Megan? Karen.
There's so many people there that I had never met, which was really cool. It's cool, like meeting all these people.
But you knew
That was
who
a good
they
shot.
were.
Well, so I did. So they.
Oh, where you at? Oh,
which
see, like you weren't
I'll
even in
talk
there.
about this other experience that I had there in a second. But they all knew me, but they didn't know where they knew me from, and then it got discovered. We'll talk about that in a second. But man, all right. So
They just made sure to not include you.
I'm
because-
just not in the video. I know that I am. It shows later on more, like especially like when we're sitting around the fire and everything.
I remember there was like a scene where it's like,
There's a whole zoom in on me.
yeah,
And it's like everybody dressed the same. It doesn't look that bad because of the lighting, and then it's just me in a white polo.
Oh, I'm not used to seeing you with your hair brown. I
Yeah,
forget that your
brown
hair
hair,
isn't
right?
I'm not used to
blonde.
seeing you in not this gray shirt.
Yeah, I know, right? But so the other thing that happened for me at that shoot, I'm really, I said before we started, I'm really curious about your perspective of that shoot because of your role. But so there was another box for like video, but not really, just like a live video because they played at a Dunkin' Donuts here.
Oh,
and,
when you became famous?
and I
love that video.
I was
by the
part
way.
of like, I guess like kind of making that show happen because they didn't have a PA system. I saw Austin post about it. I texted him and I was like, yo, is this real? And he was like, yeah, come through. Showed up. They weren't there yet, but the other band, Waters Deep, was there. And they were like, yeah, we don't really know what we're doing. We're staying nearby. And we don't have a PA, so we're just going to play vocals like through one of our extra guitar cabs. And I was like, that's an awful idea.
Yeah.
So I hit up Jared and was like, yo, we need a PA. And he was like, cool. So I drove over there, helped him pack everything up, and then we ran sound for the show. And because of that, Ethan decided to have me introduce the story of how the show happened. So I'm at the beginning of that video, by name and everything, like introducing it.
Mhm.
So I'm sitting there at that video shoot. I could tell everybody was looking at me. I kept picking up on the fact that people would be like, and then I would be like, because that's the thing that I do. If I see somebody staring at me, I almost always will be like,
What the fuck you looking at?
and then they go, oh shit, and they look away. And then eventually, I think Austin introduced me, like as a joke. He was just like, we got Mr. Casey House here from the Dunkin' Donuts video, and everybody went, oh, at the same time. And I was like, yeah, that's me. And they were like, I recognized you. I was like, man, what is this dude from? Where is he? Like, and so
Not the fact that you were in a pretty prominent
in
local
a band or anything else that I've been a part of, it was just like Dunkin' Donuts. There were some people there that were like, that pulled me aside and they were like, were you in Give 'em Hell Kid? So like that was a whole thing. But most of the people were like, Dunkin' Donuts guy. And I was like, yeah, that's me.
Damn. That's like commercial fame right there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was
Get
like it
branded
was.
for that?
I was just like, all right, I guess I'm famous now. Obviously, it's just all of Boxford's friends. So of course they
Sponsored
saw the
by
video.
Dunkin' Donuts. Can you imagine?
Well, I mean, that video made it around a little bit.
Yeah, it
Yeah, it
did.
did.
Yeah.
Not quite as around as the Denny's video, but
Yeah.
It was because of Waters Deep too. They posted about it a lot.
Mhm.
they did.
I think they shared like the same video too, even though they had their own, but they were like, this one's better.
Yeah.
So they shared that
That's
one. They're
funny.
like, hey, we played at this too. Like, yeah, I
Yeah.
remember seeing it all the time, and I was like, oh god. My face.
There you are.
I got a text from a couple different family members upset that I said fuck in it. And I was just like, well, unfollow me then. I don't know what to tell you. So, but
Fuck.
your role was BTS.
Yes.
How did that happen?
Well, God, how did that happen? I have a really shitty memory. I'm sorry. I'm going to make some shit up. What most likely happened is that I hit up Ethan and I was like, hey, bro, are you working on anything? Because, like, I'll hit him up, like, you know, every so often, like every couple weeks, every couple months, some shit. I'm just like, hey, dog, like, if you got anything, like, going on, like, I'll help you out. And he was like, oh, yeah, actually, I got this shoot going on. Like, do you want to do some BTS footage for me? I was like, fuck yeah. So, gave me the address and I just, like, slid through. But, I will say it did feel kind of weird because, like, I know, like, sometimes I may come off as, like, antisocial, shit like that.
Feel that.
So it's like, I do really bad when I'm in an environment where I know nobody and everybody knows everybody.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody does.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, hey, what's up, random guy?
Guy
Like,
with the camera in the corner. You're like,
yeah,
you're just over there like,
I'm just here to film some stuff.
yeah,
Do your thing.
yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much like how that happened. But I will say, it was really a lot of fun. By the end of it, like, I really felt like I loosened up. Because I've definitely been on shoots where it's just been like, professional. You just, no, we do this.
Yeah, no, that shoot
do
was a
this
party.
again. Yeah.
Literally
Yeah.
with a party that
Yeah.
that y'all
that
filmed.
was like the whole point of it was like honestly, like, as far as like shoots go, I haven't been to a ton of them, but I feel like the ones that are unhinged like that one went really well for
Yeah.
being so unhinged.
let me tell you right now, they're all unhinged.
Yeah.
Just chiming in here as the videographer for that video. The unhinged shoots are the worst shoots from the videographer perspective.
Well, I was gonna
They're fun,
say,
but it's
so-
just like pure chaos on my
Yeah.
end.
Yeah.
It is super like, I'll say overwhelming because there's so many, when you're shooting, there's so many different variables, even if you plan everything out, you know.
It never works that way.
It
Ever.
never works out that
Ever.
way.
And there were a lot of
Ever.
people at that shoot.
Yeah,
too.
so I
And
was-
none of us are professionals. We're
No,
all
not
just
at
friends. So it's like everybody kind of like, some people would sit aside and like wait to be told what to do, which is cool. A lot of people didn't.
Mhm.
And then like Jimmy ordered pizza in
Yep.
the middle of it, which
Yeah.
just threw everybody into like frenzy for pizza.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I was
Yeah, that
gonna say, so like I did all the buying of the props and stuff for that, and I remember buying specific colors of like the lays that everyone was gonna have, and I was like, all right, people with this color like lays are like gonna be wearing these shirts, and I remember telling Jimmy ahead of time, like it was however much time, and I was like, all right, everybody in the band needs to wear like a yellow shirt. That's gonna be because their album cover is yellow and blue, so we were going off that theme, and I show up and he's like, yeah, I don't know, I don't know. They're like kind of yellow, and I was like, Jimmy.
hadn't they not gotten their like
They didn't get so.
whenever I got there, Austin was gone buying
Yes, Austin
something,
was
right?
buying a shirt the day of, and he was like, I can't find any yellow Hawaiian shirts. I was like, that's because the summer just ended, dog. Like you should get it together. And then
You
like
could've
I
ordered one and it would have
months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, look, it's fine. Just find a yellow shirt. And then I was organizing all of the lays. I was like, all right, these people are gonna wear this color. Like figuring out who's gonna wear what. And I remember like I think Bree and I went to go get another prop that we had like forgotten at Walmart or something. We had to buy another one. And I come back and people are just like wearing like 3 of each color of this and that. And I remember my eye twitching and I was like, it's like, this is not. Oh, and Ethan was like, how you doing? I was like, it's fine. Everything's fine. It's fine. It's cool. It's fine.
No, this is literally not what we planned.
I was like,
I
this
will,
is
I will
chaos.
say you held it together very well, and it didn't come through when you were asking for my. Do you remember how like you presented it to me? 'Cause
No.
you're the one who got me on the video. I got a text from you, and
Oh,
you
yeah?
were like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I was at Patrick's, and I was like, I'm just sitting here, whatever." And you were like, "I need your help, like right now." And I was like, "Okay, is everything okay?" You were like, "Yeah, I'm fine." There's this music video shoot, Boxford, whatever. And I was like, "Yeah, I mean, I'm cool with them, whatever." And you were like, so initially you said I didn't have to say anything. You were like, you're playing the sad boy. You're gonna be dressed this way, whatever. And you were like, but like, you don't have to say anything. You don't really have to do anything. You're really just gonna be a part of the crowd and like maybe have to show like a little bit of like different emotion depending on the shot. But like, that's really it. And I was like, I really don't want to like, I was like, that's just uncomfortable for me.
Yeah.
Like, I hate like, it's like when I was like doing the band thing, like I hated being in front of the camera for like photo shoots or videos or whatever. Like I hate doing that.
Yeah, I feel that.
So I was like, especially if it was just like another person in the crowd, cool. But you specified I was going to be a little different. And I was like, that makes me uncomfortable. And like, I'm cool with Boxford, mainly Austin.
Yeah,
I don't
of
really
course.
know the rest of them all that well.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I mean, like, is it like, but I was weird about it. You said you'd buy me food.
Yeah, Chick-fil-A, I think.
It was Chipotle.
Oh, Chipotle.
And you
okay.
did. Not that day because we already had
We
food.
come
but
through.
You bought me Chipotle later. You convinced me, and I got there, and I was like, I think you handed me the shirt, and I was like, fuck this.
Yeah.
But and I was mainly so like I'm very, as you guys know, I'm very particular about the fit of my clothes, and I was like, man, this is gonna be like a boxy ass polo. It's gonna look awful. It's gonna either be way too big or way too small. Honestly, it fit fine. I was really surprised, but I was just like, all these things were like, man, fuck this. I don't want to be here, man. and then I went into the room, the like garage room with Jimmy and Ethan. And then they were like, all right, so like, here's the idea. We're going to have you do this. And then they were telling me about like scenes.
And you were like, this is not what I signed up for.
What? And then so I basically rewrote like the scene that was like, I forget how I was supposed to walk up to the door, I think. And it was supposed to be me walking into my own house.
Yeah.
And then something was going to happen. I don't remember. And I was like, what if I'm like driving and I pull up and I was trying to figure out a way to like be more comfortable with it somehow. I didn't want to walk. That was my main thing. I was like, I don't need a full body shot of me walking up to a door. Like I'm gonna get out of breath walking up the steps, and then I have to deliver a line and be like nervous. And I was like, man, what if I'm just driving? So we wrote that. We shot that scene and everything. Like,
I was gonna say it was
Yeah, I remember
Ethan's
that.
car, right?
yeah, I drove Ethan's car.
Okay.
We shot it I'm sure it exists still. I
Yeah.
assume. We shot it in a way that like Ethan was still, and I drove into frame and then stopped the car, but my window just was down. It was this whole thing. I had to be all emotional too. I took the keys out and I was like,
I just
like,
remember
I was all upset. And
the only thing I remember, because I was on the opposite side of filming that, but in that shoot, and I was just trying to crowd control because everyone was like, so when are we gonna? And I was like, it's soon, starting soon, should be soon. They're filming the car scene right now, and everyone's like, oh, what time? I'm like, okay, and I'm like, it's fine, soon, it's what's happening soon, it's fine. So I just remember like just pure chaos of like, it's fine, it's gonna happen soon.
Honestly,
and then,
Jimmy bringing the pizza probably like saved.
absolutely,
It really did.
Because everybody was like, oh, this is fine. I'm chilling now.
Yeah.
Got
I
pizza
got
all
pizza.
Like,
good.
oh, okay, it's cool.
He got a lot of pizza.
Yeah.
He got so much pizza.
got
And
a
then they
fuck
had
ton.
that little like the window.
The window
I was
open.
just about
Yeah,
to
he
bring
was like
that up,
delivered
yeah.
through that. That shit was great.
It was awesome.
Oh, I
that
love
shit
that.
was dope. That was so dope.
Yeah, we couldn't do any of that in COVID hours. Just thought about that.
Yeah, that whole video would not happen.
Would
pretty much
literally
at all.
be a jail sentence.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, straight up.
yeah,
But,
man. That
More
was
than 10.
But I will say that was like one of the most funnest shoots like I ever had. Like by the end of it, like I felt like super comfortable with everybody, everything. Like,
Because everyone was
Hell
just
yeah.
hanging.
Yeah.
yeah,
It was just a big old
really
hang
dope.
session. There was some music, pizza.
Guitar.
we got to listen to them play that song like
800
38 times.
times.
Dude, that is the worst thing about music videos. Like,
Absolutely.
being a musician, like shooting a music video means you play the same song at least 10 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what sucks is being a drummer is you have to be in every single scene.
Yep.
Because you're
I
in
was
the
about to bring
background.
that
Yeah.
Yep.
I was
So-
about to bring up Jimmy.
So
has some
the
difficult
fucking
parts.
singer can do whenever the
Yep.
camera is on everyone, but whenever the camera's behind them, they can just go sit, like,
Mhm.
sip on some water. I don't know.
Jimmy has some like not particularly difficult but tiring parts.
Yeah.
If you aren't playing them in as like a double stroke or something, he has his part
Oh,
that's
the
on the
snare
hi-hat and on the
rolls.
snare. Yeah,
Yeah.
doing a single stroke snare roll that just it's for like an entire verse, and it's like that's not that bad, but it gets that bad.
The 38 times.
Yeah,
you're,
you're just like,
okay.
oh my god. You're just like, it's like, oh my god.
That's actually why Jimmy's so buff. Is he just never
Just-
even in his
he
sleep?
just
he's like,
does single rolls all
I can do this all day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like I was like, man, that's gotta suck, dude.
Did Casey, have you like shot any music videos?
We shot one that never got released because we shot it with Dan, and it was gonna be bad to begin with. And so we shot it at my house. So Ryan and I bought this tarp that ended up being big enough to cover almost our entire like inside of our house.
Whoa.
Oh yeah, there's
Man.
like I think there's a video on like my Instagram or something of us like maybe it's my Snapchat, but we made a tunnel. It was a whole thing because like,
That's awesome.
Ryan and I we got it and we're children, so we made a whole tunnel and we're playing with the cat in it and everything. We made like forts and stuff. Anyways, so eventually we set it up and we took all the furniture out of the living room and used this big white tarp to just like make it like a big white empty
Ooh.
space.
Yeah.
It wasn't creased, or it was creased. It
Mhm.
wasn't like wrinkle free.
Yeah.
So those wrinkles are visible as hell. And yeah, so we're shooting these shots, and it was like it wasn't really big enough space for all of us to be there, so it was all individual shots.
Okay.
We didn't know what we were doing. honestly.
When was this?
Oh my god. 2015, 2016.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes. I mean,
Yeah.
Did I know? Did anyone know what they were doing in 2015 or 16?
I mean,
I don't know what I was doing yesterday. Much less.
Yeah, I mean, some bands did. We just didn't know what we were doing. But we that was at the time where we were trying to like call in favors and never have to like actually pay for something.
Mhm.
So like Dan was
Lots
gonna
of
Because you were
bands do that.
broke.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
it was 2015.
Yeah.
Every every fucking corner was cut. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
every single all of our photo shoots were either free because we were homies with them or free because we got approached by a photographer that wanted to shoot us, and it was never like something that was we're gonna put money for. Well,
Right.
no, that's not true. With Cole, we put a lot of money into Cole Sweeney.
Yeah.
Phenomenal photographer. He's worth the money, but it's money.
Of
Yeah.
money.
For sure.
And
yeah.
so, and especially for a band like ours that had no money,
Yeah.
any
Any
And
amount of money
everyone
is
was
a lot of
like
money.
still relatively young.
oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
At that
Shitty
point,
jobs.
man,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
we had no savings. We were playing the like shows in front of fucking 15, 20 people at best. Yeah, we had no money at that time. So that was before the album came out and everything. Because like, what he did was like album release photo shoot, and he shot the photos of the roads burning for the album cover.
That's cool. Okay.
Yeah, so like we burnt a table accidentally.
Yeah.
And we burnt Ryan's bed sheet. So I mean,
Might have been a good thing.
we were lighting fire. Was that the point? I hadn't thought about that. But we were lighting something on fire on top of it. Like I don't know what he thought was going to happen, dumbass. But yeah, it did burn. And it burned a lot. So yeah, but yeah, that was a weird time. I was just thinking about that. I think I went back through our Instagram like 2 days ago, and I was scrolling through, and I was like, this is like almost upsetting.
You're like, time to delete this.
Anytime you look back on something like a
Yeah.
project that's not really a thing anymore, you're just like, man, invested a lot of time.
Yeah.
It was so
God, yeah.
stupid and like really like almost embarrassing at times, but also like it was just like we were just going for it. We didn't know what we were doing. We were idiots, but we were having fun.
You're having fun doing it.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's all
and
that
we had
matters.
so many cool experiences that I was
Yeah.
just like, man, I miss Ryan too. I miss Ryan a lot. Stressful working with him, but I love him to death. He's such a good dude. So, I actually wanted to ask, like, with your background, what led you to actually start wanting to do film, or was it film first? Was there something that led you to that, but you were interested in something beforehand?
Yeah. So like everybody else in high school, I wanted to be a rapper. So
Hell yeah.
Same.
Ooh, did you have a rap name? Did you do it?
Yeah. I had like a
Let's hear it. What's the name?
no. I had a couple of projects. It was a really shitty name. I'm gonna cringe physically even saying it. But it was Chris Kilo. That's what it was.
That's not that bad.
That's what I was
even
gonna say.
that
I've heard way
It's-
worse.
It was bad to me. But yeah, so anyway, like I was really like in love with music, and I still am. But it got to a point where I was like 2 years out of high school. So at that point, I was like 20, and I was doing music for like 5-6 years, and it started feeling like a job. And for me, I'm not afraid of work, but for me, when things start feeling like I have to do it, not necessarily like I have the motivation or the will to do it, and I'm just like, I don't really want to do this anymore. At that time too, I started going to school for like IT and stuff, so I started gaining more like technical knowledge and things of that nature. So I put off music for a couple years, and then during that time, while I was in college, I was pretty much like super antisocial. So all I did was like watch movies and like smoke weed and play video games and shit. So
Hell yeah.
so really the film that really like drew me into like cinematography were two films. One was Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind
Nice choice.
by Charlie Kaufman. And
Is that the one with the?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
with
You were
Jim
just
Carrey.
talking about that.
I'd never watched it.
oh my god, you need to
I was about to.
Yeah.
Not gonna happen anymore. But I might still watch it. But go ahead.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I love it. So yeah, it was Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind, and also Enter the Void.
Also really good.
Yes,
Also never.
I
seen
watched
it.
that in my
Same.
film class.
yes, that's like top 3 like high movie or like trip movie to watch.
I was gonna say that's
like,
what everyone says is like
Gravity.
Yeah.
I saw Gravity in theaters with somebody who was high on something. It wasn't weed. They were high on something else. boy, was he losing his fucking mind. He was sitting next to me, he grabbed my leg, he was like, dog! And I was like, hey, we're in a theater, chill out. Like, we're good. Just look away.
He's like, no, we in space.
He was like, yo, what's happening?
Like, where's my helmet at?
Oh, yeah, that shit was crazy.
Yeah, that's eternal void, just silence. Yeah, space is fucking scary. But yeah, definitely watch Enter the Void whenever you get the chance.
Really good.
It's pretty much like the perspective of a soul, like after you die. Like this guy is in Japan and he's like a drug dealer or some shit, and then some deal goes wrong and he ends up getting shot and like dies in the fucking bathroom or some shit. And then you see like the camera like slowly pan out from his body, and then the rest of the movie is just like going into his past and like looking at everybody else from like his life and all that shit. Like it's pretty dope. I explain things really shittily, but it's really good.
I mean, that does honestly sound cool.
Yeah, anyway, so I started like I looked at that and I was like, wow, like how the fuck did they do that? Like I think that's what puts a lot of people on like their path to whatever they want to do. It's like that genuine curiosity at first, that first step, like, yo, how the fuck did they do that shit? Like was that CGI or was it like some type of whatever? So I started researching and shit, and I was like, yo, like, I think I want to start doing this shit. And I feel like that's something that really like it really resonates with me, just because you use like the left and right brain to me, like when you do film, right? So you have like the creativity aspect of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is, the planning and the actual like screenwriting, script writing, all that shit, whatever. You have that aspect, but then you also need to have the technical knowledge as well and the practical knowledge as well to pull off or really, to just pull off like the creative aspect and what you're trying to do. So, that's really what led me to it. Like, to me, it's like the perfect mesh.
Like being able to execute everything you want.
Now you can see that's like any sort of creative, like it's, you can visualize, most people can visualize what they want to happen, and then you just get to figure out the path to get there, and that's the hardest thing because it does require technical knowledge, experience. Like me, like I do very, very basic video editing, and I'm like, man, it'd be really cool if I can do this, but
I
gotta learn how to do it, and I gotta make sure my computer can do it, which I can't. So
I feel like that's something that like with videography being an art, I feel like it's something that like almost differentiates it from so many other forms of art. Is that like, I think about a musician, and like you can have the creativity and maybe even like the tool of like a voice or something, but without any of the knowledge of like how to do it. And then you get a producer or you get a manager, you get a label. There's people to carry you there. As a videographer, that like almost doesn't exist. Like you could be shadowing somebody, you could be pulled under somebody's wing, but generally speaking, it's like you have to prove yourself and the knowledge to be able to be self-sufficient before anybody's going to even care to see any of what you do or call it like, and make it worth anybody's time.
Definitely.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
That is interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the most difficult thing really with videography and cinematography, filmmaking, whatever, it's really you're judged on your execution, whether it's by Netflix if you're trying to get your movie on there, or even just by audience in general. Because like people have a lot of good premises, and like you said, they may have the visualization to get there, but at the end of the day, execution is paramount. So that's really what I love most about like videography and shit. Like when I shot that shit for Boxford with all you guys, I was really excited to see like the final product, and I like absolutely loved it. Like, I don't know, it's like when you see like some of your shots in like some videos and shit, like, oh shit,
you're like, oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's always very interesting to me, like I've been learning so much living with Ethan about these like the different types of shots, why they're cool. Like I've picked up on stuff like that throughout music videos and movies and stuff, and found those things interesting, but never really understood the technical piece of it. And now I have a much like better understanding. Still not nearly enough to do anything with, but it's just more interesting to like understand it a little bit. And like watching that video and the types of cuts that he made, a lot of them, I forget what they're called. But the cuts where something goes in front of the frame and then behind, and then you know what I'm talking about. Ethan, if you want to jump in, I'm sure you know exactly what I'm talking about here.
His nose is playing so hard.
Go ahead and explain this to us, please.
All right, so you're talking about like a mass cut.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
The term is a mass cut.
Mass cut, yes. Those are really, really cool to me. I like long shots also, like continuous shots. And like those are incredibly useful for that, to be able to make it seem like it's a continuous shot, even though it's not. So I don't know. I think that stuff is super interesting. So like finding the technical piece of it has been a cool like path to go down to.
Yeah, I think like if you watch enough visual like videos or movies, you're like everyone's asked like how they do that. How they do that. Like when you watch, I don't know, that was that one war movie that was supposed to be one cut.
1970.
Yeah, and you're just like,
yep.
yeah, and you're just like,
No, it's not 70. It's
17.
17.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're just like, wow, like how did they pull it off? Because there's no way it's a lot of like one shot. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
Like,
that's so actually, something that I know. So like as a musician and I working in like with producing and stuff, also I have this issue where I listen to music now for the mix, and if it could be a remarkable song, like 10 out of 10 has everything, but if it's a mediocre mix,
But if the snare sounds like shit,
if the snare sounds shitty, I might not like it. Or I honestly won't like it. Like, and I've gone back and listened to old songs that I loved. Now I hate them. And as somebody who does video, you run into the same issue.
Every fucking
Okay.
time.
Yep.
Like literally every video I do, like if I do a video and like I put all the cuts together and shit, and then I look at the final product, I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm really proud of this. Damn, this shit looks dope. And then like 3 days later, I look at it, I'm like, oh my God, it's fucking shit. I can't believe I sent that to somebody. Like it's I don't know, like I'm always nitpicking at myself though.
Yeah.
Like constantly, like every little detail, especially like when you're doing video, like every little detail.
Oh my
counts.
gosh.
Like
Going back and like seeing continuity errors that you make. I remember one time we did this music video with this band called Suburban Key Party, and it was the first music video we shot with them. It was awesome. It's one of my favorite music videos we've ever done. It was like in 3 different days. It was dope. But so I handmade like this map for them, and I wasn't like watching them take the map like out of the bag or whatever it was supposed to be in. And later when Ethan and I were like going back and watching it, and I'm like, the map's upside down. I was like, it's just in like one shot. I guess I corrected them. Somebody must have corrected them like the next time. But I just remember, it's like, and it's only like a half a second. I'm like, Ethan, you can't do that. Don't do that to me.
Yeah.
Don't do that to me. And he's like, that's fine. I'm like, so every single time I watch that, I'm like,
Oh man, he didn't fix it.
why? Yeah, because we needed it. We needed him like taking it out of the bag, like the envelope. And I just remember like, it's the worst thing ever now, man.
Hey, you know what's
Worst.
funny? Like 9 times out of 10, like little shit like that.
No one
don't
cares.
even
no one
notice.
cares.
No, absolutely not. The
Literally,
band
yeah, of
didn't
course.
notice.
They're just there for the story.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But here I am. I'm like, the shade of orange isn't the exact shade of orange I used in the, like, it's just.
So that's for stuff that you create, and I'm definitely the same way for that. But what about for stuff that you just watch that somebody else made? Do you have the same, like we watch a movie, and if it's like shot weird or something is up with it, it's just like I'm judging every single shot. I don't like that shot. Like you're not engaged. Does that happen too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Shit, like there have been like plenty movies where it's like certain things will like turn me off, and I really hate it because I feel like a prick and like a movie snob. Like, oh, shit is unfucking watchable now.
That's
like,
Ethan's the same way.
because it's like, yeah, it's gonna pick at me like it can be like little shit like dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I mean? Like a lot of people have issues with like overacting. So like when you're doing a scene and it's let's say like an emotionally charged scene, like let's say like a Marriage Story. I don't know if you guys seen that on Netflix.
I've seen the memes.
Yeah, it's Scarlett Johansson and Adam Driver. It's a really good scene, or it's a really good movie. I mean, but there's one scene. Well, quick background. It's pretty much like the story of like a marriage essentially ending. So like they're starting to do all like the legal battles and shit. Anyway, there's one scene where they start to have an argument, and it's so emotionally charged that you feel like you're their kid, like in the corner, watching mom and dad just fucking like want to rip each other's throats out. Like they put so much emotion into it, and like you feel it on both sides. But there are certain movies. Well, I can't really think of one right now, but there are certain movies where it's like you'll have one actor, maybe it's the lead, that's just like acting their fucking heart out, and then you just have like the next guy just like, oh, come on, man, we got to go save the chick. And it's just like, yo, like, dude, what the fuck? Like, y'all just had a fucking shootout. Like, why are you so, like, why?
Like, anyways.
Like, yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like little shit like that just makes me like, I don't want to watch this shit anymore. And like, my girlfriend gets pissed because, dude, that shit like
was into the show.
yeah, absolutely. I'm just like, all right, I'm going to be on my phone now because I can't watch this bullshit.
There's a movie that got ruined by continuity error.
Ooh.
Well, it get ruined. I watched it later on, and it's fine.
What movie is it?
It's a Disney Channel original movie.
Oh, dear God.
If anybody can't think of what it's called, I'm going to need Ethan to look this up for us. It is the movie with Kyle Massey, aka Corey in the House,
Corey in
Okay.
and the
house.
dogs.
In the dogs.
And the dogs. He meets this girl. There's dogs.
Sick.
They do a dog competition.
Is it Air Bud?
No, but I'm sure we'll figure it out here soon.
Okay, what's
Kyle
the continuity
Massey.
here?
So there's a scene where he's like in. I think it's like right before he goes and like hangs out with that girl.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Hey, yo, the movie is called Life is Rough.
Life is rough. Yes.
That shit is fire, son.
Yes. So it is a good movie. It is
Appreciate
a great
that,
movie.
Tyler.
But there's a
Thank you,
scene.
Tyler.
I'm pretty sure it's right before he like goes and hangs out with this girl like for the first time or whatever.
Ooh.
And he's wearing a polo.
Okay.
And I don't remember the order of things, but the shirt goes either from buttoned to unbuttoned or unbuttoned to buttoned.
Ruined.
Like, I'm pretty sure it's literally like it's just like cuts like a slightly different angle.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And he's like almost in the same
Yep.
position because like obviously he's supposed to be, but the shirt just poof. And I'm like, I caught that. I was like fucking 11.
When you're a little kid, you see
And
that.
I was like, hold on, his shirt open now.
This movie
Like,
isn't real.
Oh, yeah.
Rewind it.
that
Oh wait,
fast.
you can't because it's we were
Nope.
11.
Couldn't do
There's
it
no
back
DVRs
then.
Dude.
back then.
Let me tell you, it makes Ethan so mad because it doesn't matter what we're watching. So my biggest, like, it's not really a continuity error, but just like as someone that does like the art and like sometimes we'll set up makeup and things like that, I absolutely hate it when it's like, oh, I'm just a girl waking up at 6 a.m. and her hair is like already curled, makeup on, eyelashes, lipstick, and I'm
beautiful.
like, did you do that in your sleep?
Yeah,
Why you
exactly.
What's that? You just you rolling out of bed fully dressed? Okay, that's cool.
Or it's like
Every time.
Or it's like after a sex scene or something.
Yes.
It's like they're supposed to have like really super rough sex and like
Lipstick's intact.
Yeah,
like your eyelashes are on still, and I'm like, who are you? What?
Hair
is-
is still perfectly.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
like, whoa, okay. Like it's fine. You're not a little bit of frizz going on. It makes Ethan
They're
so
only sweaty
mad.
in like the parts that are like sexy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm
But-
like 10 seconds ago you were sweating and suddenly you wearing waterproof mascara. Like what? It
This-
makes me
this
so
one thing I
mad.
want to know too. Why is there always an ass walk after a sex scene? Like, you know what I'm talking about?
It's usually the
Like-
dude too. I feel
Yeah.
like that's a common thing.
I never understand that. Why do you, like we know they had sex? Like why
Yeah,
do
you don't need to show a bare
I feel
ass
like the
for
reason
that.
why is like it's. I mean, maybe you can get away with it. Like you can't. I think ass is still PG-13. I think
Is it?
really?
I'm pretty sure.
I think it is.
Like
Oh.
bare ass is PG-13. Like
Hmm.
boobs and genitals, like that's not. But I'm pretty sure ass is
That's
because
interesting.
I know that I've seen ass in like PG-13 movies and been. I don't remember. I could be wrong. But maybe that's why. It's like the director being
you
like,
could just why
"Ooh."
not?
Let me sneak that in there
I'm
real
just
quick.
gonna get away with a little bit of like, but
Little
if
bit
you
of
show
ass.
bare ass while they're like actively having sex,
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, that's
probably
not
can't do
PG.
that.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say that's Game of Thrones
Yeah.
style.
Oh
Like,
gosh.
yeah.
So I wonder.
It's probably something like that. Yeah, I never watched. Like, I watched like a couple episodes. I never got into it.
Don't get into it. You're going to disappoint
Well,
yourself.
Game
Well,
of
I yeah. I mean, I understand that everyone hated the ending.
My
But,
cat's
like-
name is Daenerys.
I understand that. I understand this, but I mean, I don't have time for TV and movies anyway. So like, I understood that it was a commitment, and I was like,
Yeah.
nope, don't want to make that.
That's the thing. I remember I've seen like 1 or 2 episodes, but I just don't have the time. It's so much time
Yeah.
to commit to. what is it? How many seasons is it?
I think it was like
6.
7.
Mm-hmm.
Gross.
I'm pretty.
I
I'm
think it
pretty
was
sure
8.
Y'all just
It's
gave me
actually
different
8.
answers.
6, 7, or 8.
Six,
I
seven,
have no
one.
idea.
Well, on a scale of 1 to 10, there might be 7 seasons. Like it's fine.
We're rounded up.
Yeah.
I think it's a phenomenal show. Obviously, it did end. It's 8. Wow. Okay.
Whoa.
It didn't end all that well.
I heard that even the actor hated it.
So,
Sorry,
I,
just
mean,
yawned.
I think some of them liked it, some of them didn't.
Mm.
But it didn't. It's not that the way it ended was bad. It's just the fact that they basically HBO was like one more season,
Right.
and then they
Put
were like,
everything in this season.
okay, well, there's
Didn't-
so much that needs to happen still.
Yeah.
So
Didn't the directors they were going to make Star Wars or something. Isn't that what happened?
Yeah,
So they left?
that's the version I heard. So HBO actually greenlit them for 10 seasons. And they were just like, nah, we're going to wrap this shit up because...
Interesting.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I heard too.
Yeah,
Oh.
they were like, fuck that shit. We're wrapping this shit up so we can start on that Star
Go
Wars.
collect coins. So yeah, they had that Disney money.
fair enough. And they were writing it too. Like they were writing Game of Thrones at that point because the books
the book
weren't
wasn't
there
out.
yet.
Yeah.
So they wrote that ending and everything. Like I feel like the story, like a lot of it, especially because they set certain things to be potential spin-offs, which I thought was really cool. Some of them would be really interesting, but I don't know. I think just because like How I Met Your Mother,
Never seen it.
the worst ending. That it was almost the literal equivalent of It Was All a Dream.
Oh,
like
wow.
like for real. Have you
That's-
guys? Nobody here seen it?
I haven't.
No,
I've seen it.
shit.
Okay.
That show is so long and drawn
That
out.
show that I mean it was a sitcom that was on for fucking ever. This thing is squeaking.
Oh yeah.
It was on for so long, and I mean I could spoil it, like kinda. I mean, do y'all care?
Yeah.
I don't care.
All right, so spoiler.
Spoiler
alert.
alert.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
Spoiler.
For how long is the show?
I mean, it's been over for 5 years probably.
There's gonna be one. It's gonna be like Jimmy Bacon. That's like, I was on season 2. How dare you, Casey?
so-
Why?
So,
Had all this time,
so
Jimmy.
the show,
Deal with
obviously, How I Met Your Mother. It's about How I Met Your Mother. That's
Wonderful.
the gist of it, and it's speaking in it's future
Okay.
speaking about telling the story of
Yes.
how, and then so yeah, whatever. At the beginning of the show, like I think it's the first episode. Why am I forgetting his name right now? The main
Fake fan.
Ted.
Fake fan.
Ted sees Robin. And thinks she's beautiful. Whatever. Says I love you on their first date. It's a
Aw.
whole thing.
Okay.
It doesn't go well.
It never does.
and there's this whole thing. He steals this blue French horn from this restaurant that they went to because she thought it was really cool. He stole it and like it was really romantic. Whatever.
Sick.
Said I love you, ruined things, and then they go on and off for the entire show. And then she ends up marrying Barney.
That's
I'm
Neil
spoiling
Patrick
a
Harris,
bunch,
right? Okay.
and then things don't work out with them, and the way that the show ends. So there's all this building of growth with I'm gonna say that the main three, I'll say Robin, Ted, and Barney. All three of them go through their entire story arc of like really growing as people, and
Okay.
it's honestly it's phenomenal. Watching them all grow and change and everything, and then the way the show ends is the mom fucking dies of cancer. The story being told, which it's a lot of scenes like of Ted speaking to his children, of telling the stories. The mom has been dead for 6 years since the beginning of him telling this story of how he met the mom, and then it was a way for him to basically say, are you guys okay with me asking out, as they refer to her, Aunt Robin, but friend Robin, not literal aunt. And they're like, yeah, we love Robin, whatever, of course. And then he shows back up on her stoop with the blue French horn, and the show ends. Now, the other half of that pisses me off, because that's literally the first episode. It ends the same way. Like, oh, no progress has been made. Here I am trying for love again. Barney, the bigger disappointment. He goes from the dude with the playbook, the like he's a womanizer. He would never get married or anything, have children, none of that stuff. Eventually, he ends up falling in love with Robin, and like it's his whole it's this crazy story arc. It's really interesting watching him battle it out in his mind. I think it's done very well. They don't work out. Barney goes back to being awesome, as he refers to it, and going and sleeping with as many girls as he can every night, whatever, and basically being like, I'm never going back. And so Barney's like growth goes
Just
from here right back to the way he was at the beginning of the show.
Wow.
So the show literally, except for with Marshall and Lily, but they did what everybody expected. They got married, they had children, and he became a judge, and all this, like everything went exactly where you anticipated it would go, except for them three. They went back to the first episode.
So with that being said, I have no idea who any of those characters are. So except for Neil Patrick Harris, love him. What is your favorite show?
Colby Smulders. You know who that is?
Nope, sure don't.
Oh, and you haven't watched the Avengers movies? I don't know what else she's in, so never mind. Go ahead. Whatever.
I was gonna say, with that being said, for your disdain, what's your favorite show
Oh fuck.
or movie? I mean, I guess.
Well, I guess I'll say my favorite show, being a black guy, is The Wire. I don't know if you guys seen The Wire.
Never watched it.
It's really fucking good. It came out in like early 2000s.
Isn't it like a crime thing?
Yeah. So it pretty much follows the lives of a couple detectives and like a few like gangsters and shit out in Baltimore. And it pretty much just it was really revolutionary at the time because it just highlighted the level of corruption that pretty much permeated through all of Baltimore. There's actually one episode where in order for the police chief to get the crime numbers down, they actually sectioned off like a part of the neighborhood where it was like legal to sell drugs. And they just like dropped off like all the crackheads and shit over there. Like it's just like a whole bunch of like story arcs and shit that the whole series goes through. I think it's like 3 or 4 seasons. It's really fucking good. Damn. It's super good. It's
Is
HBO.
it on Netflix? HBO, so it's probably on HBO Max.
Yeah, it might be on HBO Max. But yeah, that was like, I'll say that was one of like the first shows that really like compelled me to like sit and watch. And it was really weird because I wasn't like 20 or anything at the time watching this shit. I was probably like 12. Just like anticipating the next episode. Like, yo, is Pookie finna get shot? Like, what the like that shit was like fucking wonderful for me. I will also say too, like, a lot of inspiration for storytelling for me actually comes from like anime. Like I absolutely fucking love anime. The most recent one that I've seen, which was a really good story, that you guys should watch if you haven't already, it's called The Great Pretender. It's on Netflix. That shit is really good. Art style is amazing.
Ooh.
It's essentially like Ocean's 11, but like way more fucking like exuberant, like exaggerated and
That
shit.
sounds dope.
Like it's really fucking good.
I've struggled to get into anime. This one kind of walks the border of cartoon and anime, but it is also my favorite show. If my favorite show overall, Avatar.
I was gonna say, I remember you begging me to watch that.
I knew it.
Avatar is so damn good. So, have you seen Avatar?
Of course.
Have you seen Avatar?
I've seen it.
You.
No, because we decided that
I know.
if
Wait, what did we
I
decide?
watched Avatar, you
I
would start watching
Stranger
Stranger Things. You haven't done that yet.
I figured we were going to do that together.
We could do that. That's fine.
Then
Let's have a house party.
Let's
Watching party.
whichever you. I mean, how many seasons are in Stranger Things right now?
Currently 3.
Okay, so I mean, I would be fine with starting with that if you'd rather, or starting with Avatar.
I am down for whatever.
Okay, we'll work that out.
Okay, cool, yeah.
But I mean, you're over here all the time,
Fair.
so as long
Basically over here.
that does drag Ethan into it.
Whoops.
How long are the episodes for Stranger Things?
About 45 to an hour.
Okay, Avatar is only 30 minutes, but so,
Oh, yeah,
so
okay.
we'll and Avatar is only 3 seasons.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Remarkable. Oh my god, it's very childish at the beginning. You got to get
yeah.
past it, but boy, the story arcs, the growth, the character development, my dude. Oh my god,
A
it's so
fucking
good.
one.
I've heard
also,
I would cry.
the end of the show. That's
Oh.
a show that ends, except for one fucking thing, ends perfectly. The
Okay.
show, and in a way that you not perfectly like, oh, you anticipated
Right,
this.
right.
I
A
guess
solid
it
ending.
makes sense. Like you would expect this to be like the world that the way the world is at the end, but just the way they get there is
Okay.
so interesting.
You
It's
can't
so
spoil
cool.
it.
I'm not going to. I'm just saying the show wraps up very, very well.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
absolutely. Some of the best character development in a cartoon I've ever
Daenerys?
watched.
I remember, I used to live with my cousins and when I was younger, and they were really into that. So we went to go see the movie that came out. And
Oh, I'm so
my god,
sorry.
I know
You
it was
watched
so
it?
bad. We saw it in theaters.
God, so you've
when
seen,
it came out.
I also saw it in theaters.
was trash.
because, yeah, everybody assumed.
And I was like,
The-
look,
and
M.
it's
Night.
so funny that you think it's trash without knowing why it's trash.
Why? No, it's just trash.
It's like it's a bad movie, but there's also it's so disrespectful.
I can
to the
imagine.
show.
Absolutely.
Oh, they ruined. They changed so many. Ong, fuck off. Oh my god, they called him Ong in the show. Firebending.
Oh, no.
Firebending isn't something that they can do. They can't create fire. They have to take fire from existing sources in that show or in the movie.
What?
But
Okay.
in the show they can't.
Yeah.
They create fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just changed so many things for literally no reason.
That's
they got
what I
rid of
want-
so much of the story.
I love M. Night, so I was really I like all his horror movies. Those are like I grew up on those. So I was like, all right, whatever. It's like M. Night directed. I'll go see it with you. And then I just remember sitting in the movie theater, and my cousins were like, "Is it? Can we leave?" And I'm like,
It
okay.
was literally like a joke. Like watching the
It's
bending,
so
watching the earthbenders, especially whenever they're going through like Kyoshi and everything.
Laughably slow.
And oh yeah, they're like they do like 6 fucking punches and moves to make, and it's like 5 of them to make one rock float, and the rock is like, like it's unreal. It's like, how did you shoot this? well, obviously they didn't shoot that, but how did they like create this?
Yeah.
And they were like, "Yep,
This is sick. Okay.
that rock would literally be like." "All right,
They're like CGI
being
budget was like
pushed."
$12. So
no,
they're
the
like,
CGI
all
is
right.
fantastic.
Really?
It like visually, it's very pleasing. Like the
So
water,
they just
especially
chose
the
to
water
make it
bending looks
trash.
fantastic. It's
Interesting.
just the action. It doesn't exist.
Ooh, okay.
It's like shooting a fucking water gun versus shooting somebody with a real gun. It's like
That's
What's-
something. Yeah, that's something I like never understood too. Like whenever it's like any movie like based on something else, it's like dog. You have the fucking source
It's
material.
right here.
Yes,
right
yes.
here.
the show was
Like,
done. I
Yeah.
believe. I'm pretty sure the show was done.
was.
Yeah.
And they were only doing the first book. So the first
Oh.
book had been out for fucking years at that point.
That's
Like, it's all there.
That's how I feel about Pet Sematary. So horror movies are my favorite thing on the planet. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if any of you have seen the original Pet Sematary
I haven't.
or the new Pet Sematary.
No.
Oh man. Okay. Well, okay. So Stephen King is one of my favorite authors, and he wrote this phenomenal book about like life and death and like what that means to people, and like what does it mean to come back from death, and like is that morally, ethically correct, and like whatever. And it's beautifully written, and they made a movie out of it, and it was like the 80s, I think. So it was awful, but it was good because it was awful. And it like CGI wasn't a thing that they used, so it was like all makeup and stuff. And then perfect storyline, everything made sense. And then they redid it, I think, like 2 years ago. And then like they just switched around, like very important plot. I was like, you have
Yep.
two solid sources. How did you mess this up so
They're
badly?
like, what if we just like made this way?
Well, let's
instead?
just make it quirky. And I was like, no, stop
Yeah,
that.
it's like this is beloved for a reason.
Yeah.
Like, I understand making like a few changes that will like be more
Right.
visually appealing for,
Yeah, yeah.
for the way it's being
Mhm.
changed,
Mhm.
like because it's a different format. But you can't change the core
Nah.
story.
Mm-mm. You said, let's just rip out 8 chapters. I was like, oh, okay. that's
Exactly.
You
cool.
can't call Aang Ong. You can't call
Yeah.
Sokka Soka.
Oh, no.
There's so much.
That's so bad.
Like,
Bro, that show or that movie was pretty much just like filming people cosplaying the show.
they also made
Doing a bad job.
They also made all the bad guys like Middle Eastern
Oof.
while making all the good guys while
White?
like Katara and Sokka and Sokka
Oh, my.
are very clearly not white in the show. I don't really know what ethnicity they would be given, I guess, but they're not white. But in the show, to my memory, they are white white actors and everything.
Movie?
Like, and it's or in the movie, they're white, and it's like,
How are you going to whitewash?
mm-hmm.
Okay.
But then Zuko, who is seemingly white in the show, they made Middle Eastern. And they also like ruined his scar. It's just like every single
Okay.
thing. The way that the show works, they were
It's
like,
like, did y'all really even watch this?
for real. I feel like they read some of it and they were like,
We get
that's
it.
pronounced Ong.
We get the gist of it. It's fine.
And
It's fine.
and my favorite thing, or they call him the Avatar also. And the show has a like pre-show like credit roll like Star Wars or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Where it kind of goes into like the story a little bit, sets it up, and it's like the 7th word or something. I feel like it's like the Avatar, and I was like, yo,
The whole theater just gets up
and
at
the
that
theater,
point. They're
everybody
like,
was like, did we mishear that? And it was like, yeah, that misspoke or we misheard or whatever. And then he was like, I'm Ong, and we were like, yo,
and you're like, and wrap it up, boys.
Foreshadowing
Oh, yeah.
the fuckery.
Yeah.
that movie-
48 seconds in, you're like, all right, well,
There was no way I was gonna walk out because it was Avatar, but like
rough 2
I
hours.
sat through the whole thing in theaters.
He said,
and
I'm
so-
going to
sorry.
put myself through this because I'm a fan, but I'm not happy.
You're like, I
Yeah,
paid for this.
exactly.
I want to know you two. We'll start, I guess, with you. What your favorite show?
Stranger Things, easily. So,
Okay.
yeah,
Got
Stranger
a whole
Things.
ass tattoo. and
Yeah,
everything.
I have a Stranger Things tattoo. Have you seen Stranger Things?
Oh yeah. Of
Okay,
course.
dope. So yeah, no, I'm just really big fan of like again the Stephen King-esque like nostalgia, kids going on an adventure to save the world kind of thing. It's like my jam. Yeah, so that is definitely my favorite show. Season 4 is coming out hopefully next year. Thanks COVID. And Hereditary is probably my favorite movie. But yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Hereditary was really dope.
Really, really good. Ethan fell asleep during it. and I
Also,
was
have
so
not seen that.
goddamn angry. I've seen the movie like 6 times in theaters.
Did we watch it together? when you fell
yeah,
asleep?
yeah. We went.
Was that a Cinema Cafe?
Yes, we went to Cinema Cafe. It was
How
like
do
the
you fall
midnight
asleep
showing.
at Cinema Cafe?
That's what I'm saying.
Those chairs are
Even.
comfortable.
They are comfortable, but you're literally people eat there.
Yeah, it's good. I just remember it. So I think like Lizzie was sitting next to me, and then Ethan was sitting on this side, and there's a lot. There, you haven't seen it, but there's a lot of like down like dead air to make you like nervous and like, you know, it's supposed to do that.
Yes,
and I just remember it
So
like
fucking nervous.
being dead air, and then it's like, and I was like, Ethan, get up. He's like, no, it's fine. And then I remember being like, yo, the movie is so fucking amazing. We need to go back. Like, I need to like look up Reddit threads right now. Ethan was like, it's okay. And I was like, you fell asleep.
You had no opinion.
48 seconds in, man. Like, you don't get to do that.
Bro's getting put on blast right now.
Always. Because he always falls asleep during movies that I'm like, this is life changing. Like, he fell asleep during Us. I don't know if you've seen that or not, by Jordan Peele.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, too, I was like going in deep dives. I'm like, oh, it's the hierarchy of like economic, social status. And like, this is supposed to represent this. Ethan's like, oh no, fell asleep 12 minutes in.
Ethan
I'm like,
has something to say.
I'm just chiming in to say that as you were saying that, I let out the biggest yawn.
see?
The
He said,
biggest
damn.
yawn humanly possible.
He said,
That
even
was
my
like
own
just-
Supposed
girlfriend's
to be
boring.
producing.
That's Ethan's aesthetic is just falling asleep during like when I'm excited about something. Ethan's like, it's my time.
In his defense, I also had a experience watching Us not paying attention.
It's so good. I love Jordan.
I
Jordan
paid
Peele
it-
can
It's
do no
a
wrong.
little slow, but like
It
I
is
paid
little
it whenever he went into the sunken place. That's what's called, right?
Nope, that's Get Out.
Oh fuck!
Us was
Same
the
That's what I was
clones.
thinking.
the
Yes.
clones and the white
I
people.
I
Yeah.
misspoke. Actually, Us I didn't like that much.
Really? I liked it.
Here's why.
Okay, yeah, tell me.
Get Out to me was a movie almost making fun of scary movies in the way of he's real. He's like, yo, shit's weird, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Which never happens in scary
Yeah.
movies. They always
Right.
make
But
the
everyone
wrong
else,
decision.
everyone else in the movie is the typical.
Yeah.
And,
Scary
and
movie
it
trope.
makes sense,
Yeah.
like why he stays. Like
Yeah.
he gets convinced it's his girlfriend, whatever. Like it all, it's very like believable. Scary movies rarely are like that. It's always like obviously don't open the door, but they open the door anyways.
Right.
He was like, "Fuck that door," like,
Yeah.
and he would stick by that. Us was not that way.
Okay,
there were
but
so many
so-
moments in that movie where I was like, "Don't do that," and then they did it, and I was like, now I feel like I'm watching another scary movie that everybody's making the wrong call on purpose, seemingly to move the story along.
Okay.
And I forget, I haven't
Right,
seen that in
right.
forever. I feel like it was they were the family.
Yeah,
That's the not the main, not like the woman who
Yes.
the main woman, but like they're like meeting up with another family or whatever.
The
Then they
red-
go in their house.
Okay,
and
yep,
then
yep.
everything happens there.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure every single thing that happened in that house, I was like, nobody would do that. Nobody would make that decision.
Disagree.
Everybody made the wrong decision.
Disagree. Okay, so two things. I disagree with you. But I think the message is, especially for Jordan Peele, is like way more important. I feel like that argument was made a lot of like, oh, well, they wouldn't do it. I'm like, bro, have you ever like, you imagine being attacked by your clone with a pair of scissors? You're not going to be like, let me think this through for a brief moment. You'd be like, what the? And like just doing crazy stuff. That's how adrenaline works. So that point. But I thought the message was more important. But with that being said, have you ever seen Cabin in the Woods?
No.
So that movie
Yeah, what?
Yeah, I
is
think I've
like
seen that.
it's like the most like being a scary movie right now. Like that's
Yeah.
the whole basis of the movie. And like it's funny because you get to see like the controller of the people of the universe basically being like, oh, she's not going outside right now because it's cold. Make the temperature warm outside, so she'll go outside. 'Cause she's not gonna go outside at midnight. It's midnight, so it's like them playing with all the. It's like super meta. It's really amazing. But
That's
yeah,
Cabin
you
in the
should
Woods?
watch that. It's one of my favorite movies.
I think partially my opinion of it is skewed because of how much I liked Get Out.
Yeah, that's fair.
That, and I knew it was Jordan Peele.
Yeah.
And I was like, my expectations might have been a little too high. I definitely liked Get Out better.
Okay.
But
I really liked Us, man, because it just like the economic, because it's all like the message was very much
the message is fantastic.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
But I also think that the message for
Oh, absolutely.
Get Out was obviously like potentially not overblown. What's the
In your face. It was very in your face.
yeah,
for sure.
and very very like them brainwashing everybody and
Yeah.
everything. Like it's very intense, I guess. But the message still is like,
Yeah, no.
holy shit. Like,
Yeah,
it's-
Jordan Peele doesn't do anything wrong.
Yeah,
I love all of his
I love
movies.
because of how he is
Yeah.
and Key and Peele and everything and
Oh,
like
yeah.
his persona. And then he comes out and he's like, I have like real shit to say.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
it's
it's
super
amazing.
artistic and like well shot.
Everything
and,
is
like, everything. I
so
was like, this
beautiful.
is so
It's
good.
it's really hard to kind of like make that pivot too, especially from
Yeah.
comedy to hey, I'm a serious person. Like take me serious.
Yeah, respect me.
Yeah.
Like I'm
It's
not
crazy
just
that
gonna
he just
crack
executed
jokes.
it like that though.
Yeah.
Like, he's not even like he did a couple that kind of sucked. It was like, no,
right out the
this out,
gate.
I mean,
and
he
then-
probably like, I mean, the resources that he had, and,
Oh, yeah,
and
of
the
course.
experience, and like, I don't know, maybe he had just been sitting on it for a while and just like,
I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
right
probably.
dude, right, he picked the right people, like,
Yeah.
So real quick, I do have a question for everybody.
Mhm.
If you could like recommend 3 either shows or movies or both, what would they be?
Fabian, you go first.
Yeah, see, the thing is like there's a reason I don't chime in much for this conversation because I just don't watch movies or TV.
do you have a favorite TV show?
I don't.
What?
I don't have any movie or TV show that captivates me enough saying like, you know what, that is my favorite.
Idiocracy.
If I had to,
Idiocracy might be it just because it's one of the ones that like I remember the most.
Okay, that's fair.
if
but,
I,
like-
Hey, there's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with that, bro.
oh, fuck.
A
I
good
can
movie's a
tell
good
you, I
movie.
can tell you 2 shows,
Mhm.
Okay.
which
Hit
would be
us.
Avatar and The Sopranos.
Oh God, here we go.
Fucking
No,
nerd.
it's whatever.
I've never seen it.
Those are both phenomenal, not only from the start but the finish. I think they both end differently. Have you seen The Sopranos?
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay, so
bro.
the way it ends is, which we won't spoil, even though the show's been out since like
like 20
anyways.
years.
very very artistic decision for the ending, which I loved. Wish I could have experienced it as it aired, but whatever. Anyways, I was like gonna say potentially like Game of Thrones came to mind, but like Game of Thrones is kind of spoiled. Breaking Bad is phenomenal, but like
Absolutely.
I've only seen that once, and it wasn't that long ago. Teen Titans is fantastic.
Yeah, there we go. Teen Titans.
Teen Titans.
Yeah, that's up there.
Yeah, like, again, another show that like silently has incredible character development for no fucking reason. The character development's fantastic. Ends awful because it doesn't end. It
You're right.
just stopped. But apparently they're finishing it. They're making a last season.
Are they?
Now? Yeah. They're like actively developing.
Tara,
that's crazy.
what
Yep.
the fuck happened?
Yeah, exactly. So the show literally ended with like almost like a mid-season, just like random episode of like what's happening, and then just like never answered.
Oh, that's
Show
great.
just ended. I don't know why. I figure there's something behind there, but
For sure.
that's I'm gonna give 2. Those
Okay.
certainly. What about you?
Clutch. I'll say movie wise. Another one that I forgot to bring up was Ex Machina. I don't know if you guys have seen
Nope.
that.
I've
I haven't
heard,
seen any of
heard
what you
a
guys are
lot.
talking about.
Yeah, like y'all two are on the same wavelength.
I haven't watched it, but I've read like the reviews about it and stuff. So
Yeah, it's absolutely phenomenal. It's a very minimalist movie. It takes place in one spot for the most part. But for those that don't know what Ex Machina is, it's pretty much this guy that works at like a fake Google or like Apple or whatever. And he gets chosen by the CEO to actually go out to his personal home and like sort of like be under his wing, and like the CEO is supposed to like show him a whole bunch of shit. But what the CEO or what the guy doesn't know is that the CEO built like this super advanced AI, and it's pretty much just like a social experiment to see if like she can really become human. What really makes it something special is just the use of very simple mechanics. Like you said earlier, like the way I forgot his name. For Hereditary.
Oh yeah.
The way that he uses like silence to
Oh my
really,
God.
like,
Ari
build
Aster.
up. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. The way that he uses silence to really like build up the mood, things like that nature. Like Alex Garland, that's the director, he does that as well. And the plot twist at the end is just fucking unbelievable. Like that's one of those movies at the end where you're like, holy shit, what the
Hell
fuck just
yeah.
happened?
Shutter Island was like that for me too.
Yeah, I fucking love Shutter Island, bro. But yeah, there's Ex Machina. I'll suggest 2 animes because I'm a weeb low key.
Solid.
One I already mentioned, Great Pretender. That's just one of those shows where it's just like I love shows with like character development and plot twists,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of that shit.
Okay.
So just like 2 seasons, but it's broken up into like 3 cases. So the first case is fucking nuts. The second one is okay, but the third one just blows everything out of the fucking water.
Okay.
Because at the end, you're like, oh shit, like what the fuck just happened? And then just at the very last second, they just like flip everything on your fucking head. And then, yeah. And then like the third one I'll say is one of my favorite animes. It's called Death Note.
Oh, I've seen that. I
haven't
know
seen
that
it,
one.
but I've
We're
heard a lot
good.
about Death Note.
It's
Yeah.
good.
The character development in Death Note is absolutely unbelievable.
I agree.
Think I'll say like making the comparison to like Walter White and Breaking Bad, where
Whoa.
he kind of just like sort of just descends into madness.
Yeah.
The only thing is the main protagonist, Light Yagami, he's pretty much like, he's been a psychopath, but he's like the textbook like playboy. He's like super smart, good at sports, like
Ted Bundy type.
Yeah, exactly. But he has like this sort of skewed view of the world, like how criminals should be perished. And he comes upon this death note, which is dropped by Shinigami, which is pretty much a Japanese Grim Reaper. And when you write a name in the death note, the person dies.
Whoa.
So
It's dope.
yeah, so he pretty much like finds this book and he
He
realizes,
has his power.
yeah, he's like, oh shit, nigga, I am God now. And like
It's really good.
yeah, it's fucking crazy. Like he starts committing all these murders, and like his dad is like the police chief, and so it's like this crazy like cat and mouse game that happens like throughout the whole
Interesting.
It's
season.
really good.
It's really fucking good. But yeah, I'll go ahead and leave it at that.
Amanda?
So I have like a really deep love for original like, animation and like lack of CGI. So just for that reason alone, probably like The Evil Dead and The Thing, because both of those movies, I don't know if you sound like you've seen them.
Yeah,
No.
I've seen the other thing.
Evil
Love
Dead.
The Thing. Yeah, Evil Dead.
Never seen
Oh
either
my
of them.
god. So the last 10 minutes of The Evil Dead alone make me want to like just cry. So they use like old school animation of like clay animation. Like so the
It's
ending.
like practical effects and everything?
Yes,
Okay.
the practical effects are so dope, and I have so much respect. Like thinking about the people that went into that. Obviously, CGI is the same way, but like the handcrafting of like every
that is
single
cool.
claymation or like every single animation, or like having to use like this for blood and this for like. There's one scene. Like the eyeballs are just disintegrating and stuff, and like thinking about all the different artists that had to go into that is like so dope to me. So yeah, The Thing, Evil Dead for sure, and either Stranger Things for TV show or Hereditary again.
Okay.
So
Fucking dope.
If you had to say something.
Um,
Just like,
well, I
just
mean,
some shows
so I mean, I
you
guess
like.
the only thing I had to offer is like just recency bias because pandemic allowed me to watch some shows.
Yeah.
fair.
So I mean, the fact that I'm excited for future seasons of The Umbrella Academy. And,
Oh yeah,
Oh,
okay,
hell
I
yeah,
never
dope.
watched it,
Super
which
dope.
is, I feel,
Casey,
shit.
please do that.
I feel like that's
Yeah.
as
you are betraying your
as
youth.
big of a My Chemical Romance fan I am, and just like Gerard Way fan in general. The fact that I haven't watched it upsets me.
It's phenomenal.
What am I doing?
good.
I'm literally not watching anything right now. I'm gonna start.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna start on Monday.
You're welcome. Anyway,
You
so
should. I love
uh,
everybody in that show.
yeah,
Thank you. Thank
it's
you
a
for
really,
mentioning
it's
that.
yeah, you're welcome.
Really good. Yeah, really good.
So I mean,
recommendation.
and that has like character development.
yeah,
like,
for sure.
very in a very short period of time.
Yeah,
so like it's
definitely.
pretty cool for that. And then I mean, just for entertainment, I watched Dave.
Oh,
And I
okay.
want
Yeah,
more
with
Little
Dicky.
Dicky because I need more Little Dicky
Isn't
in
there
my
only
life.
one
yeah.
season?
Yeah, they're making a second, I believe.
Oh, nice. I haven't seen it. I've heard good things about
It
it.
is so much better than I ever would have anticipated it being.
That's what
You know,
that's
how
what
good
everyone has
how
said.
good he is as a rapper.
That's how good his show is.
That's
too?
how good he is as a producer.
It's it's just so much more real. Like it's obviously funny, and
Yeah,
but
for
but
sure.
it's not like dick jokes.
Yeah.
There's dick jokes, but it's very much it's very relatable. It's very real. It's very just like the acting is all good. There's some shit that gets really sad. Like it's a good show.
Yeah,
Okay,
It's a great
cool.
show.
Cool. Maybe
Have you seen
I'll
it?
give that a shot.
I have not actually.
Oh,
I'm
finally,
gonna
something you
go-
haven't seen.
Right.
you should watch it.
Yeah, I'll go watch that.
There's only
shit.
one season, so like go at it.
I
A
did.
lot of big names show up in the show too. It's cool.
Yeah, I did see a trailer. And there was one scene where he was like in the studio with Taco,
Mhm.
and that shit was funny as fuck. I'm not gonna lie. He was like, "Bro, you can't bring tuna fish in the motherfucking studio. Like, what you thinking?" He was like, "Hey man, what's wrong with tuna fish?" And then YG coming and shit. He was like, "Hey, what's up, bro?" Blah. He was like, "Hey, what the fuck? What's that smell? That shit stank." He was like, and I was fucking dying.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Shit, dog.
Yeah,
No.
you get so much like that's like real, like and then
Yeah.
but then you get like really real. So like
I love
it's cool. like it.
situational comedy.
Yeah,
like, it's
definitely.
absolutely A1.
That reminded me. This will be the last thing. Sorry, we're talking forever. But the dude from Run the Jewels has that TV show. Ethan and I watched, and I think Tyler did too. What's that show called? Damn it. So Killer Mike from Run the Jewels, who amazing, fantastic, love him, would die for everybody in that and make amazing.
I just remember it's called Trigger Warning.
Trigger Warning. There you go. So it's called Trigger Warning. You guys should watch it. It's amazing. So same thing. It's like really funny, but also touches on really important issues. Like there's one episode specifically where he only spends money in Black communities.
Yeah.
So he's like, I can't even I can't even get high today because I don't know where my weed came from. He's like, it probably came from some dude like named Dan in California, and like so he's only supporting like the Black dollar to make sure the community is going. So every episode is like something different, like along those lines. And it's like it's really good. So it's hilarious, but it's also like it touches on really dope topics. So I'm like, all right, Killer Mike. I love Killer Mike.
Yeah, I saw the episode. That shit was actually pretty dope.
It was.
They said like just a little tidbit, like money circulates in other communities for like that's white, Latino, Asian, all the other communities for like weeks. In the black community, it only lasts for like 6 hours before.
I would imagine because it's like it's the difference between spending because you want to and spending because you have to.
Yeah.
So it's like this money has to be spent. Like that's why. Like
It's really good.
Yeah, not to get into all that, but
no,
but
I mean
we totally can't.
It's a real issue. We're definitely running a little past, but
we can go. We can do another. We can do another episode with that.
That's absolutely
right.
a big topic to talk about.
Yes,
so.
I love it.
Awesome.
Let's do it.
Well, yeah, dude. Thank you for sitting down with us, Kris. It was nice talking to you.
Thank you. I was really fucking nervous, so you guys made it way better.
Yeah, man. We're just here to chat.
I figure we're gonna be seeing a lot more of you. We're all hoping you're gonna be around a little bit more.
Hell yeah.
Cool. Hell yeah.
Dope.
Sweating fucking buckets right now.
Yeah, it got
warm in here. So
even though these lights technically don't do it, you get under the lights and it gets hot every
nervous.
time.
absolutely.
Well,
Yeah,
it was thank you also, Amanda.
Well, I'm here every day, so
for joining us.
for your input, for actually carrying this, since me and Casey didn't see any of these shows
for real, man. Like all y'all.
we could have an episode of just us talking about like movies and stuff. Let's do it. I would be so down.
Get me out of this chair.
Point taken.
All right, y'all. Well, it's been real. Thank you everybody for joining us. We'll see you next time. Thanks
guys.
for listening to the LOWBAT Podcast.
Dope.